What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and share with you some of our observations about their season so far. Let's get into it.
Philadelphia 76ers are currently number 6 in the Eastern Conference with a record of 26-19, having won 7 of their last 10 games. What has been your takeaway from the Sixers?
Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid,
Yes.
Joel Embiid. At the end of the day, the success of the 76ers in any postseason matchup is going to be on the back of Joel Embiid. That's just it. Without him, the 76ers, we will need a moment of silence. That's just what it is. I don't, that is the observation from the
Yes.
Philadelphia 76ers is that they need Joel Embiid, and he's going to have to be at his optimal performance every time. There
Yes.
is no room for him to have an off night, not one room. Because I want to know, who is his number 2? Who is it? Is it Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey? Who exactly is it? I'm just telling you, Joel Embiid.
Yeah. And, lucky for Joel Embiid, he has been playing fantastic. I mean, the last couple of games, I think he played 30 minutes, 32 points, 8 rebounds. In the 50-point game, he only played 27 minutes. And then here recently against the LA Clippers, he played 37 minutes, scored 40 points, 13 rebounds. One thing I know about Joel Embiid, he is in the best shape of his career. There's no way he would be able to pull down these minutes and production without the stamina it takes to be this good this far in the season, having missed just a couple of games. He was in health and safety protocols, but I'm telling you, Joel Embiid is earning his $31 million salary this season.
Can somebody else on the Sixers roster get some rebounds? Can there be somebody else? I don't want to, and I know he's playing phenomenal, but he has to put up the points and pull these rebounds. But nobody else can do it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you every game he is a double all the time? Like
No.
nobody else wants to jump. I just need to know who it is. Is it Drummond? Can we just add him, give him some more minutes? Maybe he can help get some of these rebounds. I'm just saying this. Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry, Sixers fans, but y'all need to be burning sage that he remains healthy. It's just it. That's what it is.
The thing is, Shake Milton's out right now with a back. Danny Green has been the biggest disappointment. I was kind of happy when Danny was traded to the Sixers, but his hip has not been the same. Seth Curry is out. Seth Curry's out with an ankle. And unfortunately, Matisse Thybulle, their great defender, is out with a shoulder injury. Yeah. And then I think the biggest spotlight has been Ben Simmons.
Sick of Ben Simmons. Morey, please decide what you want to do. You don't have that much time. Got to make a decision on what you want to do with Ben Simmons. And you know what? At first I was like, I don't know why they talking about CJ McCollum. But I'm looking at this roster. Unfortunately, if the Sixers don't do a midseason trade in some regard to offload Ben Simmons somewhere and acquire somebody else that can really, help Joel Embiid. No slight to Tobias, please. But really, there needs to be other people on this team that's going to help get them deep in the playoffs. I'm just sorry.
Yes.
If they don't make a midseason trade, the Sixers does not make a midseason trade, they will find themselves 1, 2, 3 couch in the postseason. They're not going to make it out of round 2. And I don't know how many more years can we put wear and tear on Joel Embiid's body for them not to make it out of the second round in the postseason.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the Sixers wasting Joel Embiid's prime. I wouldn't go so far as to say that they're wasting his prime. I wouldn't say that. I mean, he's in the MVP conversation this season. That's not a waste.
He was in there last season as well. If he hadn't missed the games, then potentially he could have won. Okay, I can get that. I think it's more so about them not putting pieces around him that can help him go deep, right? So again, we should all know right now, if you look around the league, you tell me what team has one superstar that's doing it. No. They need at least 2, 3. You need at least a number 2 and number 3, at least a 2 and a bonus. Like you need somebody else. So who, if it, Tobias Harris, this is no slight to him, y'all. Don't take me that way. But what I am saying is that when we're talking about going deep in the playoffs, the Sixers, 8 of their players played last season. Same squad. So and you think you're gonna go deep, and now you only have Ben Simmons on the floor. Like it just, I can't. What y'all gonna do with this? Y'all winning now, and if you're not careful, the Sixers are not careful. They're gonna look up and be number 7 because the Hornets are on their tail. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
don't have a losing slump. It's gonna be over. The Sixers will find themselves at number 8.
You know, it's unfortunate. And Doc Rivers is receiving a lot of heat, especially with the most recent game against the LA Clippers, where they blew a 24-point lead. And Doc Rivers did not want to take questions from the media, basically asking him, hey, did your coaching philosophy have anything to do with the loss? And Doc Rivers took offense and said, now, would you ask Greg Popovich this question? I don't think so. I've earned the right for you not to ask me these types of questions. But then I took a look at it. I said, Doc Rivers, sure, he's won one ring with the Boston Celtics back in the day, kicked out of Los Angeles. Greg Popovich has won 5 NBA championship rings as a head coach. I don't know that Doc and Pop are on the same level.
They're not on the same level. And look at this. You mean to tell me the Sixers lost to the Clippers and they didn't have Paul George or Kawhi Leonard on that floor?
See,
Explain it to me. Explain it to me. So
well,
that is a fair question for a reporter to ask Doc Rivers, and for him to compare himself to Popovich maybe can only be compared to the length of time he's coached, but not to his championship success.
Now, in all fairness, the Sixers were without Shake and all those guys, and Danny and Matisse, but the Clippers had no business winning that game.
No business. But Reggie Jackson, you got Nicholas Batum. It's those types of players. What I'm saying is, who is that? Who are they on the Sixers? I guess they were injured. Okay, I can give them that. I can give you that. Yes, but still, when you got Joel Embiid,
Yeah, he's giving it his all.
Goes back to my first question: who is the number 2? Who is it? Consistently, who is it?
It was supposed to be Tobias Harris, but I think Maxey and Joel Embiid are the future of this franchise. What they need, though, is a solid 6-man off the bench. Somebody that can kind of give them some firepower, because if you look at it, there's not enough coming off the bench. Doc Rivers doesn't have enough to work with once the starting lineup sits down.
That is one of my other observations. I have concerns about their depth.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about the teams that the Sixers will potentially be matched up in the postseason, what does that look like? And right now, their depth is a concern for me. Yeah. They need somebody 6-man. I agree.
Another observation I think is President of Basketball Operations, Daryl Morey. He is fighting a losing battle with this Ben Simmons debacle. At some point, you got to say, okay, what are my options? Stop denying and declining everything, because Ben Simmons' trade value is very little right now. You're not going to get what you paid for him. Ben Simmons is on a discount right now.
You know what? And accept it, right? So do you want to use your ego to prevent Ben Simmons from offloading Ben Simmons just so you can, prove a point? Or do you want to win a championship? What is most important? Because at this point, that's where we are. Do I want the Sixers to win a championship under my leadership? Or do I want to prove a point under my leadership that you can't run me player? No, no, because you're looking bad. And at this point, offload him for 10 cents on the dollar. Offload him. I mean, what? Maybe he'll go and be successful somewhere else. That's fine. But if your main focus is championships, then you need to get rid of Ben Simmons if he don't want to play for you.
For no other reason than to help Joel Embiid at this point of his career. I mean, you don't want to risk. Joel Embiid is 7 foot, 280 pounds. How much longer do you think he can take the wear and tear and the banging and pounding night after night, being the primary scorer? You got to get him some help.
Primary scorer, primary rebounder. You got to get him some help. And it's going to show up the closer we get to the postseason. And that's what I'm talking about, when he is exhausted. So he can't even do limited minutes. He can't even do limited minutes. You can't even say, okay, we're not going, you need to play, Joel, because we want to make sure we maintain, 1 through 6 seed. You need to play, but we're going to just reduce your minutes just so you can kind of get a little reprieve. They can't even do that.
They can't afford to. No.
That's ridiculous. So that means that this roster, it won't go deep. It won't go deep.
Yeah,
I really
it's
feel bad about that, and really because I think Joel Embiid deserves better.
so let's get into the Philadelphia 76ers next 5 home games. Okay, they have the Pelicans, Los Angeles Lakers, Sacramento Kings, Memphis Grizzlies, and the Washington Wizards. What's your prediction?
I have them going 3-2 this particular next set of 5 games. I have them losing against the Grizzlies because they lost against the Grizzlies earlier this year, and the Grizzlies team and that John Morant.
Mm-hmm.
As great as Joel Embiid is, if John Morant runs circles around him just because of his speed and his explosiveness, I can see it happening. And then I have him losing against the Wizards because they already lost against the Wizards once this season. They played them twice already, so it's potential that they can lose again. So I have them going 3-2.
Okay. I have them going 4-1 on this stretch. The only loss would be to the Memphis Grizzlies. They're just too young and athletic and too quick right now for the Philadelphia 76ers. So I think this will be a fairly easy homestand for the Sixers. They need it. Joel Embiid needs it. Hopefully they can get back their injured guys because this is wearing on Joel Embiid. So they could use this for some, reprieve.
They have to win these games because the Hornets are right there. And if they lose any games and the Hornets start, because right now I think the Hornets are on a 3-game winning streak. They continue to win. It will take at least 2 losses for the Sixers to be in the play-in tournament, and I know they don't want that. So,
all right, you guys, we're going to wrap up this episode on the Philadelphia 76ers. Make sure you drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think about this. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
peace, y'all.
Peace.